Alright, so it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Can't sleep, got a lot on my mind, but I was thinking about why is it that we do the rock guitar mastery system at Richard's Guitar Studio? And I had this like train of thought that I thought I'd share with you. One student in particular that comes to mind, I think about her from time to time. And I'll remember this lady for the rest of my life. But I'll tell you about her in a minute. But essentially, you know, when somebody comes in and pays money and spends time driving to the lesson, practicing all these different things, when they leave, then when they walk away from a studio in 3 or 4 years or whatever, you want to make sure that they have quality results, like they actually learn something and can take that gift with them through life. So when I have like a 7th grade kid sitting in my studio, I don't see a 7th grade kid. I see a 40-year-old guy who just had like a really rough day at the office, and he comes home and picks up his guitar and like is able to produce high quality music and art and meditate, basically zone out and do these like play music at such a level where it's sort of meditative in a way, and it's just a gift and a joy that somebody can take through their life, whether it's for positive things or negative things. Like, for example, I've played my guitar at several of my friends' weddings, and that was a gift that I was able to bring to a positive experience. It doesn't have to just be negative, when something bad happens in your life or whatever. But so the mastery system basically is a means by which we're guaranteeing, ensuring that the student is going to have that later on. So it's not like you go take lessons from the hippie down the street for 3 or 4 years, and over that course of time you spend like $4,000 or $5,000 taking lessons with somebody, and like, yeah, let's strum Bob Dylan songs each week or whatever, and maybe I'll show you some picking or something, and basically you get to the end of it and you really haven't learned much, and your time and money investment didn't really foster that gift that you could take with you. So I don't know where I was going with that, but basically that's what I'm thinking with this whole mastery system is like, we want people later on in life to have something that's worthwhile, that's like a deep experience for them, and you can only gain that through developing a great skill. So sometimes I'll think about old students that I was not effective with, and this one woman comes to mind all the time. It was like 2001. I was teaching at Georgia's Music. I was a young teacher. I only had a couple years experience, and this lady comes in who her husband had tragically died from cancer, like one of those where he got cancer and like a couple of months later, like there was like no warning, and he died. And so she came in like maybe 2 or 3 months after he died with this guitar, saying, I don't know how to play, that I've always wanted to play a song for my husband, and when he was alive I never learned how to do that. So I want to learn how to play a song for my husband, who she was thinking is like, watching over her and things, and she wanted to sing to him. So every lesson she would come in, half the lesson she'd be crying, talking about her husband and how she wanted to play these songs. So I, like an idiot, took like the Mel Bay classic approach to the guitar lesson, and just it's not a motivating method to take, and it's also not practical in the beginning, especially for someone like this. But so she did the lessons for a while, and she became demotivated because she just couldn't do it. She couldn't pick it up because this method that I had her on was not the best entry level method. It was sort of like the stock one that like all the old guys would teach. I was kind of like an old soul, I guess, when I first started teaching. So she quit, and she never learned the song. So then I think, well, if I would have had the teaching resources that I have in this mastery program, even just the entry level, the rock starter one, even if she got through like a quarter of the way through that, she would be playing that song, no problem. So it's like, man, I don't like blame myself for it or anything, but it's sort of like, well, if I would have had a better resource like this mastery program, then that would have been a gift for this woman, to play that song. So sometimes I wonder if she beat herself up, like, she tried to do it for her husband and she couldn't do it. And what a gift that would have been if I would have been able to train her the right way to actually play that song. So I hope she went to somebody else and actually learned the song. And if you're that person, call me, because I'll give you like a year of free lessons. And you'll play that song. But basically, that's the kind of thing, people look at it just like guitar lessons. It's not a big deal. But for somebody, for a lot of people it is. I mean, I've had numerous students, with other dramatic stories where it's more than just a guitar lesson. So the Guitar Mastery Program is basically just the resources over the last like 16 years of me teaching, where I put them together to basically guarantee that the person is going to be able to develop and do the things that they want to do with the guitar. So in addition to somebody like her, I've had a lot of adult students come to me, and they have a left-hand fretting problem that a lot of people that are self-taught will come in with this problem. I call it instant death, and basically it's a left-hand positioning problem that a lot of beginners and self-taught people have, that nobody gives them feedback on, and then they get into this bad habit, and literally it's physically impossible to play a good number of songs if you have this issue and you don't correct it over time. And correcting it, by the way, is really annoying and frustrating, and it takes a long time. So anyway, I'll have these people come in like, I've been playing the guitar kind of on my own for 20 years, and I've always wanted to play this song, or I've always wanted to play songs by this artist or something, and they physically will never be able to do it. They just will not be able to do it unless they practice for like a year to correct this problem and go through this painstaking, tedious work to correct this problem. So that's another reason why this program, I think, is so important, is because something that somebody wants to do, if you have a teacher that doesn't know what they're doing and they don't have a resource like this, or or if you're trying to do it all online and you don't even know that you're doing this problem, then later on it's something that might be important to you to try to learn, and something you really want to do, but this problem wasn't fixed in the beginning. So anyway, that's pretty much it. But I think about that woman a lot, and I just wish I would have done a better job to get her to play that song, man, because that would have been such a great moment, in my teaching career. But it's just stuff like that where you want to make sure that every person that comes in, you train them the right way, and you really do a thorough job, because music is more important to people than they even think themselves. So that's why we do the mastery program, and it's why we try to not just look at it like, oh, you just kind of go into a guitar lesson and play around. We really want to make a difference in people's lives. The first line of our mission statement, our company mission statement, is we are in the quality of life business. So that's what our business is. It's not just guitar lessons or music lessons. it's quality of life. Like that's our main goal. And I think this mastery program is like the final straw of our business plan that is the means by which we're going to actually accomplish that and increase and elevate the quality of life for all the people that come into the studio and do this program. So more about it later. I'm going to try to go to bed now. I'll talk to you later.